me feel like. It make you go and get some money. Get some money. Ooh, yeah.
The entertainment world's known for being cutthroat, airing out celebs' dirty laundry left and right. Some argue that the music business takes the cake, given its alleged ties to the devilish origins of music. Yet the film industry doesn't seem to lag behind. And guess who's stirring the pot? Monique. She's seemingly on a mission to spill the tea on none other than Tyler Perry. Word on the street is she's about to dish on why Tyler Perry might just outdo Diddy in the dirty laundry department. Now that's some serious tea brewing. I mean, we all know the wild stories about Diddy and what he supposedly did to those women. Now, if someone's throwing shade and suggesting that the beloved filmmaker and producer, Tyler Perry, might take the cake for being worse than Diddy, that's insane, right? Anyway, if you're curious about the nitty-gritty and how Tyler Perry manages to top Diddy, hang tight, because this is gonna be mind-blowing. So, a few months back, Monique hit the stage at the Apollo Theater and went off on Tyler Perry, director Lee Daniels, and Oprah Winfrey, accusing them of whiteballing her from Hollywood. The Oscar-winning actress was doing her comedy thing when she got real about her strained relationships with Perry, Daniels, and Winfrey. Remember her in Daniels' 2010 film Precious? Well, since then, she's only been in 4 films, and she's blaming it on their whiteballing. Back in 2015, she first spilled the beans about being blackballed by this trio. Daniels, in response, told The Hollywood Reporter that Monique's demands during Precious didn't always align with the campaign and that it soured her relationship with Hollywood. So, Monique spilled some more tea during her Apollo set, saying that the term blackballed isn't quite right in her book. In her words, she said, "What is that black D connected to? That black man? So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed by some black Ds who have no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry. Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey," she continued. "See, I know they like to say, Monique, you talk too effing much. It would kill me not to say the real SHT. You are not paying me equally. You are not treating me fairly so you can suck my D if I had one." For context, back in 2009, Monique had a plan to do a press tour for the movie Precious, co-produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry. They wanted to ride the wave of her Oscar nomination buzz, but here's the kicker. They weren't planning to pay her for the tour, and she was already drained from filming. Monique decided to skip the tour and take a breather with her family. Seemed like a straightforward call, and everyone seemed cool with it. She said, "Oprah, I'm doing a talk show. I'm doing a comedy tour. I have a husband and I have babies. I have a little bit of down team and I am going to take advantage of it. So, I'm not going anywhere cause I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part. So, we mutually agreed to disagree." That was it. Next thing I know, I am considered difficult and hard to work with. Fast forward a few weeks, and bam! Media stories start popping up, painting Monique as difficult to work with. Suddenly, no one wanted to cast her, despite her winning an Oscar for her role in Precious. Imagine seeing all your hard work go down the drain. Monique started putting 2 and 2 together, realizing someone was out to get her. In a recent chat with The Hollywood Reporter, she spilled the beans that Precious director Lee Daniels admitted she got blackballed for not playing the game. Monique's even called out Oprah and Tyler Perry, asking for an apology that is still MIA.
She said, "If you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first." Now I begin to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother.
A few months after the press tour mess, Monique spilled the beans on Comedy Central about how Oprah invited Monique's brother Gerald and her parents to her show. Here's the backstory. Monique's brother S.'d her when she was 7 to 11, and she had been open about it in a 2008 interview with Essence. Monique confided in Oprah about her strained relationship with her parents due to the S.A., and Oprah seemed understanding. Monique said she was cool with Oprah inviting Gerald but didn't want to be part of it. Fast forward to the taping, and Monique was blindsided seeing commercials featuring her family. Oprah had gone back on her word, pretending to be caring. Monique demanded an apology, but Oprah offered zilch. No private, no public apology, Nothing. Monique's still waiting on that apology today, and the fact that Oprah and Tyler Perry are buddies doesn't make things any better. Some folks think she's just fishing for drama, but others are all in, thinking Perry and the gang owe her an apology. Clearly, Monique's got some serious beef with Tyler, and she's not holding back. Rumor has it she's out to spill all his secrets. And honestly, considering she's been in the industry for ages, it's not surprising she might have the inside scoop. Let's dive into this juicy drama, shall we? Now, Tyler Perry's no stranger to the spotlight. He rocked the Atlanta theater scene and hit the jackpot with his Medea series. But let's be real, his journey's been no walk in the park. Word is, his ego might have gotten a bit out of control, leading to clashes even with heavyweights like Oprah. In Hollywood, you gotta play a few questionable cards to make it big, right? And Tyler Perry seems to know the drill. Alright, so after killing it at the box office, Tyler Perry made his way to TV with the hit sitcom House of Pain. But when it came to scoring a sweet syndication deal and a spin-off named Meet the Browns, things got messy. According to Deadline, Perry gave the boot to 4 writers asking for union contracts, stirring up drama in the industry. It was not a good look. I feel like I was slapped in the face, like we were used, writer Terry Brown Jackson told Deadline. We were good enough to create over 100 episodes. But now when it comes to reaping the benefits of the show being syndicated and having other spin-offs from it, he decides to let us go unless we accept a horrible offer. Kelly Griffin, the head writer for House of Pain, said she wasn't going down without a fight. While I'd like to see something positive come out of this for us, if this fight helps future black writers get what they deserve, that's a good thing. But what was Perry's response? He claimed he's writing everything himself now. But his union issues didn't stop there. In 2015, actor unions SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity went all in, banning their members from Perry's play Medea on the Run because his production company wouldn't sign those union contracts. Looks like Perry's profit game isn't winning cheers from everyone in the business.
I have an entire new script with all new lines, pages and pages and pages. I have an hour to learn this stuff. My agent was like, absolutely not. If Brandon doesn't feel comfortable with playing this character, then he can walk from this, because you don't have to do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing.
Now, brace yourself for this one. Some straight guys are claiming he's pushing them into holes, and it's messing with their jobs. Talk about drama, right? So, actor and voice coach Brandon J spilled the tea on TikTok, sharing that filming just one episode of Perry's Meet the Browns was the toughest gig ever. According to Jay, a day on Perry's set is like a week's worth of shooting elsewhere. And if that's not enough, he says Perry's notorious for throwing last-minute script changes at the actors, making them memorize on the spot. Jay, who auditioned for the role of Jeffrey, a bullied high school dude, spills it all. So get this. The actor caught on to Tyler Perry not vibing with the original script, and that meant everyone had to scramble to learn new lines on the spot, all chosen by the big boss himself. According to Jay, Perry went full-on impromptu, rewriting the entire script right there and feeding the lines to the actors. And get this, if you didn't catch on quick, Perry would drop the "you're fired" bomb. But it doesn't stop there. As Jay hustles to get those new lines down, Perry decides out of the blue that Jay's character is going to be crushing on his high school bully. Yep, not what Jay signed up for at his audition. Perry drops the bomb like, I want Jeffrey to be gay and have a crush on his bully. Crazy, right? In the second part of the saga, Jay spills that his first reaction was to hit up his agent, who basically said, you don't have to take this if you're not cool with it. But after some serious pondering, Jay decided it was a chance he didn't want to miss out on. So, despite Perry throwing in a last-minute twist and making the character gay, Jay went ahead and played the role.
Literally got, at the same time this person was harassing me for years. Multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there.
So, there's been gossip about Tyler Perry and his personal life for a while, hinting he might be projecting his suppressed feelings onto black male actors. But the plot thickens with recent buzz about Tyler possibly exploiting younger black men in the industry. Christian Keys added fuel to the fire with a tearful video on Instagram talking about abuse of power in the industry. He shared his own painful experience with a powerful man who allegedly bragged about having multiple young black men on the payroll. Christian didn't drop names, but the internet's gone wild trying to connect the dots. Now, here's the twist. Christian has been working with Tyler Perry for almost 2 decades, from Diary of a Mad Black Woman in 2005 to the recent TV series All the Queen's Men. So naturally, folks are wondering if Tyler Perry is the mysterious figure in Christian's story. Now, let's be real. These are all just speculations, and only Christian Keys knows for sure who that powerful man is. He mentioned he gathered evidence, secretly recorded some stuff, and handed it over to the police. So, in a few days or weeks, the mystery might unravel. But, regardless of Christian's situation, Tyler Perry has faced other accusations, like abruptly firing writers, casting stereotypical characters, and perpetuating harmful stereotypes about black women. So, after House of Pain and Meet the Browns hit it big, cultural critic Jamila Lemieux wrote an open letter to Tyler Perry, and NPR published it. Lemieux straight up told Perry she wasn't vibing with how he used stereotypes in his work. She said, "Through her, the country has laughed at one of the most important members of the black community, Mother Dear, the beloved matriarch. I just can't quite get with seeing Mother Dear played by a 6'3" man with prosthetic beef flopping in the wind. Our mothers and grandmothers deserve much more than that. Heck, our fathers and grandfathers deserve more. Mr. Perry, you have told the Hollywood old guard to kiss your backside, and I appreciate that, brother. But many black folks have expressed some of the very same attitudes about your work that white critics have."
I still think a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
And guess who else joined the critique party? None other than film director Spike Lee. He wasn't shy about calling out Perry for those stereotypical characters. According to Spike, the industry could step up its game by ditching those one-dimensional characters in Perry's record-breaking but, in his words, biased and nonsensical movies. So Tyler Perry's casting choices and how he portrays characters are raising eyebrows, sparking talks about his whole business approach. Some folks are saying Perry tends to stick dark-skinned actors in villain roles while making white characters the heroes in his films. Even Chris Rock chimed in, pointing out a pattern in Perry's movies. Rock noticed there's not a whole lot of kind and respectful black-skinned boyfriends in Perry's films. To drive his point home, he brought up Tupac Shakur, saying Perry's films could use a bit more variety in character representation. He said, "Tupac might be a political leader if he was alive, but then again, Tupac might be in a Tyler Perry movie right now, so you don't know. He might be. Tupac might be the bad, dark-skinned boyfriend in the Tyler Perry movie." So Chris Rock's deal was this. He's saying Tupac, who was a big deal in his rap days, might not score a hero role if he landed a spot in a Tyler Perry flick. Rock figures, based on Perry's usual casting moves, the chances of Tupac getting cast as a hero would be pretty slim. Just Rock sharing his thoughts on how things roll in the Tyler Perry movie universe. He further went on saying, "I would hope he's a senator, but he might be kicking Jill Scott down a flight of stairs." So, Chris Rock and Spike Lee are on the same page, pointing out that Tyler Perry's casting and storytelling choices might be playing a part in certain movies' success, thanks to some biases. They're both questioning how this mindset could be messing with the film industry. And you know what? This colorism thing isn't exactly a stranger to Hollywood. Lately, Hollywood's been under fire with media campaigns and hashtags spreading like wildfire, shining a light on some pretty shady stuff. Remember Harvey Weinstein? Yeah, he was one of the first big shots to drag the industry into the negative spotlight with abuse allegations in 2017. Now there's even a new documentary spilling the tea on the dark side of Hollywood, exposing power players allegedly preying on aspiring actors. Fast forward to the Me Too movement, and Hollywood's hit with scandals left and right. Kevin Hart stepped down as the Oscars host in 2019 over past homophobic tweets, and the Oscars So White campaign is calling for more diversity and recognition for people of color and marginalized communities.
I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry. My heart is too full to tell you just how I feel.
So Hollywood's reputation has been significantly tarnished, and the Hollywood's glittering walk of fame, more like a lackluster stroll of shame without those stars. Let's flash back to a February afternoon in 1940s America, when actress Hattie McDaniel rocked the house by snagging the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in Gone with the Wind. It was a historic win, making her the first African-American to bag this prestigious film award. Sounds like a party, right? Well, not really. Despite the victory, the Oscars back then operated like a whites-only gig, and McDaniel found herself segregated from the rest of the crowd. Instead of pure celebration, it was more about segregation than jubilation. Fast forward 80 years, and guess what? Hollywood's still wrestling with discrimination, even though there's been some talk about boosting diversity. The 2020 Oscars? Oh, they weren't immune to racial controversies that both viewers and industry insiders have gotten pretty used to. And let's not forget the major snubs, like leaving out Lupita Nyong'o for her killer performance in the 2019 film Us. Now, let's shift gears to Tyler Perry's realm of movies and shows. No hiding the fact that black-skinned actors are often cast as the villains in his flicks. Take Steve Harris in one of Perry's classics, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. He's playing Charles McCarter, a successful lawyer who turns out to be far from the ideal hubby. Shockingly, he drops the bomb on his wife about another woman in his life and then proceeds to treat her like dirt, eventually kicking her out. And then there's Blair Underwood, known for his stint in LA law and rocking Hollywood for over 4 decades. He spilled some tea about his early career and a run-in with the legendary Sidney Poitier.
There was a little pushback, like why they only want to see us as slaves or in the hood and Hollywood.
Back in the 80s, seeing black faces on screen was like finding a needle in a haystack. And when they did pop up, the roles were pretty limited and full of stereotypes, not giving much variety for black TV viewers. Blair Underwood knows the struggle firsthand. He and Denzel Washington were like the poster guys for black male representation on TV and in movies at that time, getting props for their work. But guess what? Hollywood was still stuck in the same rut in the 90s. According to Underwood, every black actor and actress in Hollywood, no matter how known or skilled, were all hustling to audition for the same roles. Same old challenges, just a different decade. And speaking of roles, Philip Van Leer got his shot at playing a villain in Tyler's movies. He had a recurring gig in the first and second seasons of a show, rocking the part of a dealer. Ion Overman also took a turn as a not-so-nice character in Tyler's Medea Goes to Jail, as Linda Davis, an envious assistant district attorney with a secret life of fraud and evidence tampering. Then there's Ron Rico Lee, who portrayed Chuck, an assistant district attorney and Joshua's friend. And who could forget Brian White, snagging a villain role in Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All By Myself as Randy, the abusive boyfriend and all-around antagonist. If you've been tuning into Tyler's movies and shows, you might have noticed a trend. A lot of the not-so-nice characters tend to be really abusive towards women. It's a concerning thing that's got people raising their voices. Take his show Bruh, for example. It's all about 4 black dudes navigating life, dealing with relationships, friendships, and careers. They're like a tight-knit family, showing off those big smiles. Now, Sistas takes a different angle, focusing on the lives of 4 single black women. The tagline, "Single but never solo," hints at exploring their singlehood journey with all its ups and downs. But here's the kicker. The show seems to keep it more individual, with separate pics of the women instead of them together. The common thread? They're all rocking the single life, and the series might dive into their dating adventures and more. Another Tyler Perry's movie, A Fall from Grace, where Crystal Fox plays Grace Waters. She's been through the ringer with her ex-husband's affair and decides to take another shot at love with Mehcad Brooks. But surprise, surprise, as she gets closer to him, she uncovers some seriously dark secrets. Grace's journey takes a twisted turn into love, betrayal, and the aftermath of people's choices. Now, Tyler Perry's movies, like Acrimony, always stir up discussions on Twitter and other social platforms. Some folks call out Perry for repeatedly showing the struggles of black women dealing with men's actions in his films. On the flip side, others say he's just shedding light on real-life issues that many black women can relate to. So, debates are flying, highlighting how Perry's storytelling gets people talking about some pretty important stuff. One fan said, "When will Tyler Perry make black women happy? They are always sad, victimized, and abused in his movies. Why doesn't Tyler Perry want to see black women happy, prospering, and thriving?" While another said, "I keep wondering why people complain about the pattern of Tyler Perry's movies. He's using his movies to hammer on what black women go through. How's that wrong? Is it activism? Why are you complaining?" So, critics aren't letting Tyler Perry off the hook, despite his contributions to the black community. They're saying, hold up, let's talk about the missteps. They point to moments in his movies and shows where black women get a rough deal or face some unpleasant stuff. Some argue that Perry's works kind of push this idea that respectability politics is the only way for his characters to find happiness and success. Plus, there's this concern that he's holding on to a ton of creative control, possibly overlooking other talented black and brown female writers and directors in the industry. Take his adaptation of For Colored Girls Who Have Considered S When the Rainbow Is Enough as an example. These critiques are basically saying, hey Tyler, we want to see more nuanced and responsible portrayals in your work.
Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be, I don't know, but certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress.
So, let's talk about the Madea style of comedy. It's hilarious, no doubt, but some folks say there's more to it. Dave Chappelle, on Oprah's show, threw out a question. Why do we see so many black actors creating and playing female characters? When I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down. Like why all these brothers have to wear a dress. So, Dave Chappelle spilled some tea about how he got asked to rock a dress in a movie alongside Martin Lawrence. He wasn't feeling it and told the producers it wasn't relevant to the scene, but they kept pushing him, saying all the greats did it and got rewarded. Dave just didn't vibe with it, not because wearing a dress is an issue on its own, but because he felt the industry was trying to corner black artists into doing whatever it took for success. They kept hounding him until they figured out he wouldn't budge. Dave revealed this whole experience was an eye-opener. It took being told to wear a dress for him to connect the dots and realize this wasn't just his struggle. Lots of other black men had been asked to do the same. Martin Lawrence rocked it in Big Mama's House. Eddie Murphy pulled it off in the Nutty Professor series, and Jamie Foxx left a mark with his unforgettable Ugly Wanda on In Living Color. Then you've got the Wayans brothers trying their hand at it with White Chicks. Oh, and we can't forget the less successful Juwanna Mann. Yeah, some would rather forget that one. In the mix of all this, Tyler Perry takes the cake. He's not just known for his entertainment game, but has major influence, even in right-wing evangelical circles. His Madea franchise? Talk about significant success and acclaim in the entertainment world. So, when asked about Dave Chappelle's claim that black men were being pushed to humiliate themselves for money, Kevin Hart was all about protecting his brand and not crossing any boundaries in 2012. He proudly declared he'd never do something he didn't want to do just for money. Fast forward a year, and boom. Kevin pops up on an SNL skit rocking a dress. Now, maybe it wasn't a big deal for Kevin, but it's a bit odd, right? After all, he did make a public statement about not crossing his boundaries, and then there he is on live TV in a dress. So, Tyler Perry isn't just killing it in gospel plays. He's taken his success to the big screen, giving a whole new audience a taste of his unique style. And get this, his latest book, Don't Make a Black Woman Take Off Her Earrings, even landed a spot on the fancy New York Times bestsellers list. Now here's the burning question. What's the secret sauce behind Perry's success? Well, there are all sorts of theories floating around, some more questionable than others. Hollywood, being the monster it is, has taken heat over the years for perpetuating stereotypes, shaping how the public sees black individuals. The debate is, limited opportunities in the entertainment biz might be pushing black artists into accepting stereotypical roles just to keep their careers afloat. Now, given all this info about Tyler Perry, can you spot any similarities between him and Diddy? Do you think Tyler Perry might be headed for some rough times?